What's up, guys? We're back for day 4 here. This is going to be, you'll see this bag setup: Outlaw 4, El Capitan 5, Extraterrestrial 3, Spec 3, Scent, Jester, and IG88. We are going to jump in using the Guide for Ultimate Golf Calculator, which is available for free in the iOS and Android stores just by going to the Google Play, going to the top, typing in Guide for Ultimate Golf, and then you'll see it here, free to download. So that's what we'll be using for ring adjustments. We're going to be working through, this is going to be Banff hole 14 here. So first thing I'm going to do, especially on a front pin probably, is I'll just blast it. Which probably will put me, if you guys want to lay back, that's also another approach that a lot of guys may use. Especially if you're going to put yourself kind of in between like a weird club range. We're going to use Spec 3. Let me see if I've not set the ring span up for that before. So you can see it's right down here by min. So this is the min club. This is 5 rings. This is 10 rings. This is 15 rings. This is 18 rings maybe. So the first thing that I do is just kind of span it out. We'll do 18 rings. We'll do a little tailwind. It looked like I was about 5 for max, which will be somewhere in the 13 range. So it's saying it may be about 217 rings. So we're going to make sure first and foremost that we give ourselves at least 2 rings. So that's the first step. Utilize our backspin. So you can see that we're just going to set up here. And as you can see, that ball guide is maybe 375 rings from the, like 375. And we're going to go almost 2.2 rings. If you guys want to get really close and precise with your ring counts, feel free to, really dissect this. I'm just going to kind of rush through and just kind of show you how the shot plays out. And you can see that looks actually pretty good. So it looked like my ring adjustment was spot on. We just needed to shorten that club a little bit more. So you can see even at, what was that, about 375 from the pin, it was still slamming the pin. So maybe right around 4 exact. If you want to go that route and just kind of blast it up there, you're about 4 rings away from the pin being the perfect amount of backspin. So that's one way to set that up. So best of luck on that one. And we are going to roll and keep going on to the next one. I believe this is hole 13. We'll use extraterrestrial. I usually use a little bit of right spin on this. So that's the way that I'm going to set it up. And then we're just going to try to get our alignment down. There's max, there's 5, there's 10 from max, there's 11. Let's just call it 11 rings. So we use this wind span tool. We'll just kind of jack this ring span up just a touch. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal breaker if you keep it on 10. But I'm just going to shift it just slightly. And we said we were, what, 5 rings for max there? 6 rings for max maybe? So this is maybe about 6 rings for max. You can see we're probably about 2.3 rings from the pin, give or take. 6 rings for max. We're going to do, saying right around 1.5 rings. I will try to do this a little bit more precision, just so you guys can fully see, what we're working with on shots like this. But feel free to use your practice to really dial this in as well. If you want to really get and dissect, that's right around 1.47. We're just going to do spot up. And I'm just going to show you what this shot looks like. Like I mentioned, feel free to dial it in just a little bit deeper than I did. But all in all, that looked really good. It was going right at the pin, just took a little bit too much break. So if I was just to, increase that ball guide to maybe 2 right spin, it's probably perfect. Aside from that, you could see maybe 4 rings from the pin instead of where I was, because you could see it came in just a little hot as well. And you can see that it's still going to try to break. So you can just kind of fine tune that, and you should be able to give that one a good run. So best of luck with that one. We are going to do, this is hole number 11. So we saw this one yesterday. This is going to be a little bit different approach. One thing you can do, if you'd like, is you can avoid hitting this down fully. I'm imagining if you do hit it down full, oh, it looks like I hit a great ball. You're going to see this goes in the rough. I imagine you guys don't want to see the rough shot. So I'm just going to go and we'll just pitch this sideways. This is where it would have been had I hit my perfect ball. So let's just see what this looks like here, because I think it'll be a more useful guide that way. There's max club. We are going to utilize a fair amount of this backspin. You can see we're going to have very limited shot view on this club. So I'm going to do what I can. Like I mentioned, if you want to really dissect this, you can do it. The best thing you're going to be able to take away from my shot here is I'm going to use maybe 93, 94% on my scent. So we'll do scent 94 maybe. It's telling me 13.75. This is the biggest takeaway that you can take, is how close is 13.75. Maybe I'll even go just a little slight overplay. We'll just go 14. I feel like I'm kind of pulling up the higher ground. Also, there's some missing ball guide there. Let's just try 14 straight up. And a little bit light. And you can see the wind effect. So a lot of wind effect there pushing that ball right. So even at 14 rings, maybe 95. It's pretty close to pushing that max adjustment there in that situation. Plus, we might have been actually pulling up, with the slight headwind, pulling up towards 95, 96, 97% anyway. So you can see more or less, you're going to have to do a slight overplay on that one if you keep it towards max club. The alternative would be, you could try to blast it off the tee a little bit farther as well if you'd like. It might help you get a little bit better approach. I'm going to try to be a little bit more careful to make sure we don't hit one of those pulls again, because you can see with the outlaw how it punishes you. So my last tee shot that I just put in the rough, it's caused by that great ball. So if you just focus, make sure that you don't get the great ball timing. Of course, I got the great ball timing here, but I was close enough so you can see I'm not penalized. And here you can see this is going to be another wedge shot. So if you want to really little tough day with scent. We're going to be, if you hit it up to the scent distance, you're going to have to be kind of spot on. So this is saying 14, 15 rings. And you'll see I'm not even going to apply backspin on this one because there's a huge upslope here. I'm going to go very close to about 15 rings in this case. We'll see if that pushes me into max or not. It does not. So I'm just going to do 15. And let's just see what it does. Straight into the wind. We should need to play a little bit extra. You can see it looks pretty good. And again, maybe part slope, but a little bit of wind effect as well, just kind of causing the second, third, and fourth bounces to just kind of roll out just a little bit to the right. So try to factor that in, but you could see right there at about 15 rings, that's about spot on for that 4.0. And the way to, you could do something to the effect of this, like max plus 4%, for example. And you can see it's giving me a 15.03. So if you want to use that as some kind of reference to get you a little bit more dialed, feel free to do so. We're going to keep trucking away here. As you can see, a nice tailwind. This is a good opportunity for you to kind of ball down a little bit and maybe blast it onto the green. So let's get this wind up to a 12. Keep in mind, we're going to have to strike that ultimate shot, or at least very, very close with these balls. So you got to be a little bit more careful. So you see that I let it go a couple more passes. Let's just see what this looks like. The biggest takeaway from this is how far did it roll out. It looks about pin high. So this is actually a really good estimation for you guys. You can see the weight of that, maybe with just a little bit of top spin. So maybe you can see I'm just a tad bit short. So Mojave plus top spin booster ball, pin, I mean. So if you use one of those top spin boosts, you might be able to get that one. And we're just going to go for the dunk on this. So I'll play this pretty much no break into the side of the pin. And that's the way that I'm going to play this. And there it is. So we get our eagle there. Nice easy eagle. Nice easy way to get that in the event that you don't get on the green. If you want extra tiebreaker points, make sure you try to dial that in. Try to put extra side spin, extra curl to the left. Try to get that over to the hole as best as possible. But I'm just going to switch back down, and we will blast this up down the center of the fairway. Make sure you're not early on this timing. You can see I just released early, but I think I'm close enough. If you release early, you will wind up in the rough, so make sure you don't get a pull there. So even though mine said great, it still flew straight, which means my timing was close enough. But whatever you do on this hole, do not screw that up. If you release early on that timing, you will get too aggressive on this one. Put yourself in the rough. It's probably the only way you're going to cost yourself a stroke. As long as you're in the fairway here, we should be good to go. You can see what I'm doing with my alignment, and then this is telling me right around 2 rings as well. I am going to do slight overplay. It's because we're not using the backspin model, we're using the top spin model. So anytime you're top spin, you know, we're doing a full rollout top spin, you always want to typically go a little bit more, because my ring adjustments, they typically factor in that you're going to be doing backspin. But you can see this has a pretty good line. This should break a tad bit to the left. Not quite enough. But you can see my weight of my shot there is good. And like I mentioned, that is going to break just slightly to the left-hand side. So you should be able to see it right here. There's a little bit of break. If you bring it in the perfect speed, you have a chance at making that one. So try your best. But you can see all in all, we kind of cleaned that up nicely. And all in all, not too bad. So there it is. Hopefully you guys have some good success on day 4. It's probably one of the tougher days. So best of luck out there. Let me know how you guys do, and see you guys on the next one. Take care.